Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It is Thursday, April 17th. You see, I get this cold again. But today I thought we'd talk about, because I've been asked a couple times already on what's the best approach when encountering customers, whether they're dropping it off or picking it up. Because that, for some people, it's hard to ask somebody else for money, and it shouldn't be. So stay tuned. Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric, and yes, this is a weekday, Monday through Friday. Today is Thursday, April 17th of 2025. So what are we going to be talking about today? We're going to be talking about how to treat your customers and how to teach your customers how to treat you and what's allowable and what's not. See, that's in real life. We teach people how we need to be treated. And if you're not doing that, people are going to roll all over you, right? And maybe you're in that situation where people are just rolling all over you. And that's because you haven't put boundaries in place and haven't taught the people around you what's acceptable and what's not. See, you get to choose when it comes to you, right? And the same thing goes for how you deal with customers. Now, you got to find a happy medium. You can't be that cantankerous, old, pissed off bastard, but you can't be that, laugh funny all the time, because there's seriousness. The customer has a machine and it's broke and they're not happy and they're not looking to laugh and they're not looking to be more pissed off by the whole situation. So you got to kind of be like that calming presence when there's chaos all the way around you. So, how do we get customers to know how to treat us? It's by being vocal. It's by telling them what's acceptable and what's not. If you have a customer get into a shouting match, don't join in and let him know that, or her, that that's just not acceptable in your business. And if they don't like it, then take it somewhere else where they can bitch you somewhere else that maybe they will allow it, but not in your shop. I've had customers come in and be very irate. And I can tell you right now, 99% of the time, it wasn't because of what we did. It wasn't because of the repairs or the bill. It was they were having a bad day. And a lot of times what you'll find is, I tell you that I take and make my customers my friends. I want to know all about them. I want to know about their family. I want to know what they do for work. I want to know how their day is going. So when I encounter a friend comes through the door and they're having a rough day, instead of letting them get to the point of where they're screaming and hollering when you give them the bill, ask them how their day is, how it's going. And you may have to take some time out of your schedule to just listen. Or let the person get whatever the issue is off their chest before you hand the bill to them. I know a lot of you guys with shops are going to say, I don't have time to. But how much time do you invest to try to get a new customer? Right? See, I have to put in a lot of time for every new customer I've got. My old customers just take maintenance. And what is maintenance? Maintenance is what you have to put in to keep that customer happy and content with the work that you provide to them. And what I find is probably my epitaph is going to be that I took the time for customers to talk about their day. They may have had a argument with their better half, and then just giving them a few minutes to get it off their chest and kind of guiding them to the right answer of you need to apologize. Even if you're right, you need to apologize because you shouldn't have blown up. And you need to do that sooner than later so that it's not festering all day long. And that's what happens, right? Is it starts off early, and then as we fester throughout the day, it keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger instead of seeing and dealing with it for what it is at the smallest point. And that is, I didn't mean to say that. That's not what I meant to say. And I apologize. But you're still a bastard. So you want to treat your customers like your friends, all right? You want to give them time. There are going to be some customers that do not want that type of interaction. They're just there. You're just a repair guy, and that's all you'll ever be. And that's okay, right? Take the work and move on. But I can tell you right now that I don't even have one customer that's like that. They may have started that way, but gradually as I've chipped away at them, that we see each other in the grocery store, we see each other downtown, and we're friends. We're not just Eric is the repair guy. He's a friend of mine. And friends will also help you get other friends to come to your place of business to get more work if you need it, right? They'll go to bats for you if you've gone to bats for them. So as you're sitting there, because I don't want you to sit there and when a customer walks in, think about what I'm telling you right now. You should have this down pat. I don't care if you got to stand in front of a mirror every morning and practice. The one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to come across as being false. What's the right word? Two-faced. If you don't feel it, don't say it. If you don't have it within you, people are going to see right through it, right? So you have to be genuinely interested in your customer. Don't be looking at your phone when you're talking to a customer. Don't be rattling papers when you're talking to a customer. Look them in the eye and talk to them. Really talk to them. And get the information you need. Whether it be the customer is there or calling on the phone to try to make an appointment to get theirs in or picked up. They could be standing in front of you looking to pay the bill. And you have to be able to recognize what customer that customer is. And what do I mean by that? I mean, some customers like to know pretty much everything you've done, where other customers, all they want is just the bill, right? So that is on you, the business owner, to make small talk about whatever while they're paying the bill, or it's taking the time to go through and explain everything that you've done and how they're better for it. See, that's the key, is if you treat everybody's machine just like it was your own, to a certain extent. And why do I say to a certain extent? I've seen a lot of mechanics, pieces of car that are POSs, because they know they can drive them because they can fix the friggin' things. The last thing you want to do as a shop, as a mechanic, is toggle things up. Is not fix it right. And some mechanics are well known for that. They're togglers. But they make it to the point where a customer can't follow everything that you're telling them that they've changed on their unit. Instead of replacing the key switch, you've now put in a toggle switch and a push button. Why? Because the mechanic thought that would be better if there was an on and off switch and then a push button. What was the matter with the key switch? Just ordering a new key switch. That's what I mean. You want to make sure the customer is being left whole, again, once you're done. And probably that toggle switch and that push button were more expensive than the actual key switch that you need to replace it. And I've had mechanics tell me, well, we had that in stock. I don't care. If we got to wait for a day or two to get that key switch in, we're going to wait a day or two. So you want to treat each person's machine as your own, but you want to have the customer walking out whole again, right? That the machine is running and driving the way it should. Easy peasy, right? Again, you're going to have to make a decision on the fly whether this customer wants to hear everything you've done to it or just wants to hear what the final number ended up being. And then the other thing that you need to take into consideration while that customer's machine is there, after you've become friends, after that initial, when we're going to pick it up, yada, 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 you get it in the shop, you need to have an open line of communication between you and the customers talking about what's going on with that machine. Because what I can tell you right now is stuff that I wouldn't fix. I've had customers say, go ahead and do it. Even when I told them they'd probably be farther ahead just to get a new one, they're like, no, I want that one fixed. Yeah, I'm okay with that price. Go ahead and do it. And it leaves you kind of like, what? You've allowed the customer to make the decision for you. You're not deciding what is best for the customer when it comes to swapping things out or going higher than what you would think would be reasonable on that piece of equipment, which is over halfway of what a new one costs with a warranty, right? But I've had customers come back to me and say, look, I could afford it halfway, but I couldn't afford to go all the way. And I get that. But you as a business owner have to allow the customer to make that call. And by keeping them involved, again, some customers want to be heavily involved. Other customers don't want to hear from you until it's time to get picked up or pay the bill. Feel them out. Find out where they're at. If they call you or send you a text and ask you how you're coming with their mower, they want to be more involved than just dropping it off and then you calling them to pick it up. Or with the bill. They want to know what's going on. Be honest with them. If it's still sitting outside, don't say I got it in the shop, half tore down, and because they could have just drove by your shop and seen it sitting out in the front yard still. So honesty and integrity go a long ways in this business. It is what it is. We don't sugarcoat things. Honestly. And we don't make our work glamorous. If you can do all that with a customer from start to finish, you will do well. What I can tell you is you could be the best mechanic out there and have almost no customers. But you could be a mediocre one with a lot of customers while you're becoming a better mechanic. So if you're a great mechanic but you have people skills issues, it's up to you to work on your people skills. What's it going to take to get you involved more with your customer, with the new customers you could have? And that is treating people the way you would hope to be treated. So on that note, you guys have a great Thursday, and we'll catch you here bright and early for tomorrow morning for Friday's edition, the end of the week talk. So on that note, you guys have a great day.